Say you're in 6th grade and there's this girl, let's call her Brantley. Or you're in college and there's this guy, let's call him Keepstar. They're both super Harry Potter fans, but you just can't stand Harry Potter. You just can't get on this Wizarding World bandwagon. But you still want to impress them. But you also don't want to read the books. But you want to be their friend. But also the movies are eh. Well, my friend, I have a solution for this very specific problem that you have. After watching this video, you will find yourself capable of conversing with these feral Harry Potter fanatics in ways you never thought possible. They will look at you with complete awe in their face, shocked as to how you have acquired this immense knowledge. But before we start, make sure you like this video and please subscribe to my channel. I need to feed my kids. Most people under the age of 40 have generally heard about Harry Potter, even if they have not watched the movies or read the books. There are two basic pieces of information that are very intertwined with pop culture, which are 1. Harry Potter is the main character, and 2. That he is a wizard. Now let's leave Harry Potter out of this for a second, and let's start with the wizarding world in general. In the Harry Potter universe, there are witches and wizards who can perform magic, and then there's the rest of us, muggles, or as Hagrid puts it,
non-magic folk.
They, meaning witches and wizards, have been around for, well, actually no one knows when or how they showed up, but it's generally accepted that they've been around since the first humans. You get your magical abilities from your parents, but if they were muggles, then you'll get them from an ancestor who was a witch or wizard. Don't ask me, well, how did the first ones get their magical abilities? I don't know. Also, stop being a smartass. The wizarding world is kept separate from the non-magical folks by a combination of spells, charms, and something called the International Statute of Wizarding Secrecy, which is basically a law that prevented the use of magic in front of muggles. This law was established in 1692 because in the couple hundred years leading up to that, witches and wizards were being hunted by muggles, the same muggles that stand up immediately when the plane lands, and in most cases, the people caught by these muggles were not even real witches or wizards. So at that point, the wizarding community around the world said, yo, this ain't it. And they were forced into hiding, living in the shadows, and creating their own community within a community. They even made their own currency. The governing bodies for these magical communities is called the Ministry of Magic, and usually each continent has at least one Ministry of Magic. But in some cases, like Europe and Asia, multiple countries in those continents have a Ministry of Magic. Witches and wizards attend schools of magic where they can practice their spells and hone their magical arts. There are possibly hundreds of magical institutes in the world, but the 5 you should really know are Hogwarts in Scotland, Ilvermorny in America, the greatest country in the goddamn world, Beaubaton in France, Castelo Bruxo in Brazil, Greci para o Brasil, Durmstrang in Europe. I only say Europe because we don't know the exact location, and people debate whether it's in Norway or Sweden, but we call these people dorks. What do you care where it's located? Do not argue with these idiots. No, but seriously, it's in Sweden. Makes more sense geographically, and it's closer to Eastern Europe, so. Now that you know this, let's zoom in a little closer to Hogwarts, because that's where all the magic happens. Sorry. Hogwarts was founded around 990 AD Disney by 4 very powerful witches and wizards, who we'll call the founders. The founders each valued different traits in students they were about to teach, so they created 4 different houses which embodied those traits. And to make the selection process as seamless and frictionless as possible, they created a sorting hat that they would put on the student's head, and you will yell out a house name where the student will be sorted. They actually tried to sort your middle school's bully's mom, and when she wore the hat yelled cow. Speaking of house names, they're coincidentally named after the 4 founders that founded them. I mean, who would have thunk it, JK? There's Gryffindor, where they value bravery and chivalry. Hufflepuff House, where they puff fluxweed. What? That can't be right. Where they value hard work and fairness. There we go. Ravenclaw House, where they value intelligence and wit. And Slytherin House, where they value mass murder and a word that rhymes with schmererism. Okay, they actually value ambition and resourcefulness. Since this is not a video about the founders themselves, we'll keep it there. Now, you enter Hogwarts at the age of 11 as a first year and graduate at the age of 17 as a 7th year. Admittance into the school was confirmed through a letter that would be delivered by an owl at age 11. However, if your parents are muggles or with no knowledge of the wizarding world, a graceful, special messenger from the school would visit the child and his or her family in order to gently inform them of their magical heritage and the existence of the wizarding world. In the mid to late 20th century in the UK, a very powerful dark wizard named Lord Voldemort has risen to power, and him and his cronies called Death Eater's power and influence has even infiltrated the British Ministry of Magic. So naturally, a group of good guys called the Order of the Phoenix has formed to foil their plans plans and try to defeat them once and for all. The original Order of the Phoenix consisted of a plethora of witches and wizards that were very powerful in their own right, and they were led by a very powerful and all-around good guy, Albus Dumbledore, who also happens to be the headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. During this time, Lord Voldemort had 3 main goals. 2 of them were very public and people knew about, and 1 he only kept to himself and few others in his very, very close circle. The first 2 goals are 1, to rule over both the Muggle and magical worlds, 2, to rid the magical world of non-pure blood witches and wizards, and the third and final goal that was not known to the public at the time is that he wanted to achieve immortality. He did not want to die. As in ever. While Lord Voldemort is trying to accomplish this and find his nose, he gets news through an email that goes to spam, but he checks it anyways, that a seer made a prophecy that the person who is going to defeat him will be born at the end of July, and he will be wearing diapers. Also, his parents are people who defied him at 3 different occasions. Knowing this information and being very, very smart, the Dark Lord narrows it down to 2 families who are expecting children around that time. One called the Longbottoms, the other called the Potters. The Potter family is consisted of James, Lily, and baby Harry Potter. The Dark Lord then decides to hunt down the Potters instead of the Longbottoms, unalive them along with their newborn baby, and Bob's your uncle. Mission accomplished. But unfortunately for the Dark Lord, Albus Dumbledore has heard the prophecy as well, and is actively helping the Potters hide from Lord Voldemort. The Potters successfully evade Lord Voldemort for about 15 months, but unfortunately for them, one of their close friends betrays them and informs the Dark Lord of their location. And so they are tracked down on the night of Halloween in 1981. Lord Voldemort then proceeds to murder James and Lily and raises his wand and casts the killing curse to once and for all finish off baby Harry Potter. The boy prophesies to defeat him. And then boom! Uno reversed you. Baby Harry is unharmed, only has the coolest scar in the world on his forehead, and Voldemort's body is completely destroyed and rendered a mere mist gliding through the air with no powers whatsoever. These events trigger Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the first book of the Harry Potter series. We will talk about those events in the next video. For now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.